You feel it in your gut, that cold, sinking, nauseating feeling. Something is off. She's distant. Her stories don't quite add up. The intimacy, the connection you once had, has changed or vanished completely. Your mind is racing, you're losing sleep, and you find yourself trapped in a private psychological torture chamber, asking yourself the same agonizing, soul-crushing question over and over again. Is she cheating on me? What if I told you that your gut is rarely, if ever, wrong? What if I told you that a woman who is being unfaithful, no matter how clever, how careful, how manipulative she thinks she is, always leaves a trail? Not necessarily a trail of physical evidence like lipstick on a collar, but a far more reliable, far more damning trail of psychological footprints. Subtle, yet undeniable changes in her behavior that are the direct subconscious leakage of her guilt, her detachment, and the immense strain of maintaining a secret life. Today, we are not dealing with paranoia. We are dealing with cold, hard pattern recognition. I am revealing 5 specific, psychologically backed signs that a woman, almost invariably, leaves when she is cheating. Understanding these will give you the painful but necessary clarity you so desperately need. And pay very close attention, because the 5th sign is the most insidious, the most twisted of them all. It is a form of sophisticated psychological warfare designed to make you feel like the crazy, abusive one. This knowledge is not just information, it is your shield. To effectively spot the signs, you must first understand the deep psychology of the cheater. She is, for all intents and purposes, living in 2 separate, conflicting, parallel realities. This creates a state of immense, unsustainable cognitive dissonance, a profound psychological schism. Her brain, her very being, is constantly, exhaustingly working overtime to maintain the lies, to manage the guilt, to compartmentalize her life, her emotions, her time. This immense mental and emotional strain is like trying to hold 2 powerful opposing magnets together. It is unsustainable. It always results in leaks. Her energy changes, her routines change, her language changes, her relationship with technology changes. She simply cannot maintain perfect consistency across 2 separate, competing realities. It is a psychological impossibility. The signs we're about to dissect, therefore, are not just random suspicious behaviors. They are the predictable, inevitable byproducts of a divided mind and a guilty conscience. You are not a paranoid detective inventing clues. You are a logical, perceptive observer of psychological cause and effect. Footprint number 1, the digital fortress. Her phone is now Fort Knox. The behavior. Her phone, once a casual open object in your shared space, suddenly becomes a high-security classified vault. It is always placed face down. It is always on silent. It is always in her pocket or her purse. She takes it with her to the bathroom, to the kitchen, everywhere. The password, if you ever knew it, has been changed. She angles the screen away from you reflexively when a notification comes in. The brutal psychology. Her phone is the primary gateway, the digital umbilical cord, to her secret life. Her sudden, intense hypervigilance over it is a direct, quantifiable reflection of her profound fear of exposure. The phone is no longer a simple communication device. It is a crime scene, and she is desperately trying to protect the evidence. The unmistakable red flag. It is not about her just having privacy. It is about a sudden, drastic, almost panicked change in her phone behavior, often accompanied by defensive, anxious, or angry answers, if you even so much as glance in its direction. Footprint number 2, the emotional and intimate wall. The connection is severed. The behavior. She becomes emotionally distant, almost a roommate. The deep conversations, the inside jokes, the shared future planning, they stop. She seems apathetic, almost bored by your day, your struggles, your triumphs, the physical intimacy also changes dramatically. It either disappears completely, becoming a chore she avoids, or paradoxically, it can sometimes become more frequent, more intense, but different, almost performative, often driven by her guilt or desire to cover her tracks. The brutal psychology, genuine emotional and physical intimacy, requires a singular, focused connection. She is now emotionally and physically connected to someone else, so she must build a wall with you to manage her guilt, to prevent emotional overlap, and to avoid the pain of confronting her own betrayal. A sudden, unexplained change in the frequency or the emotional quality of your intimacy is a massive red flag. It will feel different, less connected, almost like she's performing a role. The unmistakable red flag, a noticeable, significant, and unexplained detachment from the shared emotional and physical life you once had. The spark isn't just gone. It feels like it's being actively suppressed. Footprint number 3, the new life narrative, a world without you. The behavior, a sudden, intense, almost overnight interest in new hobbies, new types of music, or a completely new social circle that conveniently and consistently does not include you. She starts working out religiously when she never did before. She buys a completely new wardrobe in a style you've never seen her wear. She begins developing a life that seems entirely separate from, and often at odds with, your shared life. The brutal psychology. She is, quite literally, building a new identity and a new world that revolves around and is designed to impress her affair partner. The new hobbies are often his hobbies. The new friends are often his friends, or a convenient cover story for their time together. The radical self-improvement is not for you. It is to make herself more attractive and desirable for him and for the new life she is actively auditioning for. The unmistakable red flag. It is not just about her developing new interests, which can be healthy. It is about her building an entirely new, separate life that is intentionally cordoned off from you, often accompanied by vague, inconsistent, or defensive explanations. Footprint before, the logistical footprints, the lies in the timeline. The behavior, she's suddenly, consistently working late, even if her job doesn't require it. There are unexplained errands that take hours. There are new, frequent girls' nights out with friends you've mysteriously never heard her mention before. There might be strange, unaccounted-for charges on bank or credit card statements, or a new, intense secretiveness about money. The brutal psychology. An affair, a double life, requires two fundamental non-negotiable resources: time and money. The complex logistics of managing a secret life will inevitably mathematically create inconsistencies, lies, and gaping holes in her known schedule and her usual financial patterns. The vague, overly detailed, or defensive excuses she provides are the thick, black smoke that indicates the raging fire of a logistical lie. The unmistakable red flag. It is not just about her being busy, which happens in life. It is about a consistent, recurring pattern of inconsistent stories, a schedule that no longer makes logical sense, and a defensive posture when asked simple, reasonable questions about her time or whereabouts. Footprint number 5, the accusatory reversal. She makes you the villain. The behavior. This is the most insidious, most mind-bending sign of all. She, the one who is cheating, suddenly and out of character, starts accusing you of cheating. She becomes intensely suspicious of your phone. She questions where you are, who you're with. She picks fights, often out of nowhere, to make you seem like the unstable, the untrustworthy, or the controlling one in the relationship. The brutal psychology. This is a classic, powerful, dark psychology tactic called projection. Her own guilt, her own infidelity, her own untrustworthiness are so overwhelming, so psychologically burdensome that she cannot bear them. So she projects them onto you to alleviate her own guilty conscience. By making you the bad guy, she can subconsciously and sometimes consciously justify her own horrific actions. Her internal narrative becomes, "See? He's so controlling, suspicious, unstable. No wonder I had to find comfort elsewhere." It is a powerful, destructive form of gaslighting designed to make you question your own reality, to put you on the defensive, and to shift all focus away from her own secretive, deceptive behavior. The unmistakable red flag. A sudden, inexplicable, out-of-character shift in her behavior where she becomes the suspicious, accusatory, almost paranoid one in the relationship. It is a psychological smokescreen, a desperate diversion tactic to hide her own profound transgressions. So you are seeing a cluster, a consistent pattern of these signs. What do? The weak man, the emotional man, gets angry, gets sad, accuses, creates a messy, dramatic fight based on his suspicions, often without concrete proof, which allows her to label him as crazy and controlling. The strong man, the aware man, becomes a quiet, detached observer. You do not confront her emotionally. You do not let her know you are on to her. You observe. You gather your data. You see the pattern for what it is. Your goal is not to catch her for a dramatic soap opera gotcha moment. Your goal is to gather enough undeniable information to make a clear, calm, and decisive choice for your own life, your own future, your own self-respect. Once you are certain of the pattern, your move is not a negotiation. It is not a plea for therapy. It is a decision. You decide if this is a person you can ever, in a million years, trust again. And for a man of genuine self-respect, the answer is almost always a resounding no. You then act decisively, cleanly, and powerfully to protect your future. The 5 unfakeable psychological footprints of a cheating woman. 1. The digital fortress and her sudden phone secrecy. 2. The emotional and intimate wall of profound detachment. 3. The new life narrative that conveniently excludes you. 4. The unexplained logistical footprints in her schedule and finances. 5. The accusatory reversal and strategic gaslighting. The psychological warfare. This is a painful but absolutely necessary truth to understand. In the comments section below, let's protect the brotherhood. What is the number 1 undeniable red flag or sign of cheating that, in your own personal experience, proved to be the most accurate and telling? Your story, your hard-won wisdom, could be the critical wake-up call that saves another man from months or years of pain and betrayal. If you know a man who is currently in a confusing, painful, soul-draining situation and needs to see these signs with cold, hard clarity, share this video. You could be protecting him from immense, life-altering future pain. Be a watchman on the wall for your friends. For more unfiltered, potent truths about psychology, recognizing red flags, and building an unshakable life of power and peace, make sure you have absolutely obliterated that subscribe button and have activated all notifications. Your peace of mind is non-negotiable. Go out there and protect it.